Welcome back to Synth Stuff. My name is Scott. Today we're going to be looking at the Hydrasynth, basically because I was in the car driving today and Blue Monday came on and I started hearing the synth sound. I'm like, how did they do that? And then I thought about it and I thought, I bet I could do that on the Hydrasynth. So we're going to do that coming up. Blue Monday was a dance floor smash for New Order in the 1980s, early 1980s. It just obliterated the dance floors. It was the #1, and I think is still the #1 12-inch single ever sold. As soon as the DJ started playing it, the dance floor went crazy. Everybody knew exactly what it sounded like because it started like this. So that drum starts, and then slowly fades in this thin, kind of reedy synthesizer sound, and that's the one I'm talking about. And if you listen, it sounds almost syncopated. The accent on it doesn't obey the 4-bar phrase. You can hear it's kind of like it's every other bar, it's kind of offset a little bit. And it's just that accent of it. And I sat and listened, and I'm like, how did they do that? How did they make that sound? And the more I thought about it, I said, I think that is an LFO that's timed off to the 4/4 of the sequencer to alter the filter. That's what it sounds like to me. So I thought, well, if that's the case, then for sure the Hydrasynth can emulate that. And I thought I'd give it a try. And I did do it, and I was right, and I'm going to show you now how I did it on the Hydrasynth. So this is the sound that I came up with, and this is playing on the Hydrasynth. I'm sequencing it from Cubase. You hear how it's kind of syncopated. So let me show you how I went about making that sound. And of course, I also did the iconic bassline sound. And of course, we can also add in the rhythm track. And by the way, all the drum sounds you're hearing are from Dom Sigalis's incredible modern 80s kit, Max. It is a Hallion module for Cubase. It is an amazing, amazing drum machine. It's got a ton of 80s stuff in there, but the drum samples and the sauces that he's added in there make it so that you can create just killer kicking drum sounds out of that. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on drums in this. I just kind of tuned it so it was kind of close to the original, but it sounds great. Let me just kill everything but the drums. Such a great sounding plug-in drum machine thing from Dom Sigalis. If you haven't checked that out, he's done tons of videos on it. Check it out. All right, so let's init the Hydrasynth and then start from scratch and see how we get these sounds. All right, so we start with an init, and we're going to, this is a multi, because it's going to have the bass and the upper sound, and we're going to set it up as a split. So let's just do an edit here, and we're going to say instead of dual, we're going to have it as a key split. Now that we've done an init, we're going to edit the upper. And oscillator 1 is going to be a sawtooth. That's fine. Oscillator 2, we're going to have as a square wave, and we'll put that an octave down. Make sure that's up in the mixer so we hear it. Get rid of the cat fur on the synthesizer. All right, so that sounds all right. Let's start with the filtering. The second filter we're going to set up as a morphing filter, and we're going to morph that so it is a high pass. There we go. And then for the first filter, when we hit it, we want it to open up. So let's put an envelope on that. We've got the first one opening up, and the second one is just our... So if I open it, if I basically undo the second filter, we should be able to hear that first filter opening up.
right, so now that we've got the filter, you can hear it opening up. Let's give a little bit of movement there. And for our amplitude, let's make it a little bit of decay and lower the sustain, just give a little more punch. All right, now we can go on the cutoff filter, the high pass. So now we have that thin, reedy kind of sound there. So let's now add in our LFO1 to filter 2. So if we set up our LFO1 and we want to BPM sync it and on there, and our tempo is going to be 130. It's taking that from the DAW. That's fine. So now we've synced it to the BPM so that when the DAW plays, it'll sync the LFO to that. And for a rate, I think maybe 1/1 triple. Let's try that. And then in the filter, we need to have the LFO amount up in there. So that's what it's going to do is it plays it. So now let's sequence that from Cubase and hear how it sounds. All right, that's not right because LFO, we need to have the sync, trigger sync. Right now it's poly. We want to have it off so that it's just free running. So it just plays from wherever it happens to be. Okay, let's try that again now. Maybe it's 1/2 dot? No, I think it's 1/1 triple. Yeah, I think that's right. All right, now we've got that done. Let's save that. And we're going to go down to the lower. We're going to edit the lower. And let's see. That's an init. So we've got, again, a sawtooth wave. And let's do the same thing. We'll put the second oscillator as a square wave. Drop it down. 12. Maybe a little bit of detuning. That's fine. And for an envelope on the amplitude, let's do the same thing just to give it a little punch. And our filter, we want some cool squelchy filter. And envelope. All right, so now let's sequence that and we'll just play with that and get a good sound out of it. A little bit of drive. And maybe just bring that level down a little bit. That's better. All right, so there's our bass line. You know what? I think the upper should have a little bit of a delay on there. And I think maybe the filter is closing a little bit too much on this one. All right, so now let's listen to those together. Too much of the envelope on the upper filter. Still too much envelope on the filter. So there we are.
That's my quick and dirty Blue Monday playing around with on the Hydrasynth Deluxe in multi-mode, getting both those sounds on the lower and upper. And like I said, I use the LFO to like bring that accent, bring the filter opening and closing. That's kind of like a polyrhythm. Instead of the 4/4 time, it's kind of doing that triplet in there, which is what I think they did on the original song. I'm not 100% sure, but it sure sounds like it to me. I will put a link to this, in the sound that I'm doing, so you can download it and play with it yourself. If you have a Hydrasynth Deluxe, you can play with this sound. I'll put it in the description below if you want to play around with it. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, leave them in the comment section below. Click like, subscribe if you like this kind of video. Thanks for watching.